Okay, two things. One, don't worry about the eyeliner and random one black nail. I've been experimenting for Tiefling Melissa's stream this Saturday at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Second, oh my god, Paizo coming out of left field with such a freaking banger announcement yesterday. If you're not aware, Paizo has just announced not one, not two, technically 6 new books, all centered around the region of Tian Xia. Now, granted, 4 of these books are part of an adventure path, but it's still so awesome to see Tian Xia finally getting the spotlight in Pathfinder 2e. Up to this point, that region has sort of been on a sideline, mostly being showcased in the Strength of Thousands adventure path, but now we are getting a Lost Omens book dedicated to Tian Xia, a player's guide full of character options from Tian Xia, and a 4-volume adventure path, you guessed it, taking place in Tian Xia. Stop the video! I have a really important announcement that I want to make to y'all right now. If you're unaware, the content creator JoeCat has been doing Final Fantasy XIV live streams 3 or 4 days a week to raise money for the trans rights charity Gendered Intelligence. As a sign of solidarity and to show our support, me and my friend Diva Dragon are going to be doing our own charity event live stream this weekend, Saturday, starting at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're going to be doing something known as Palace of the Dead, which is a 200-floor dungeon where you start as character level 1 and have to work your way all the way up. We are being given a time limit of 8 hours to see just how far we can get. For every floor we don't finish, I'll be donating $1 of my own money to Gendered Intelligence after the stream. So if we finish on floor 120, that's 80 floors we didn't finish, so I'll be donating $80 to Gendered Intelligence. And did I mention there will be donation incentives for you to slow us down? Things like purposefully wiping, changing classes, being forced to swap roles. There's gonna be a lot of ways you can mess with us to make sure that I have to donate more at the end of the stream. It's sure to be a lot of fun, and the money's going to a great place. So I hope to see you all Saturday, 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for the Palace of the Dead charity event. Trans rights, enjoy the video. Now, a lot of you might be asking yourself, what the hell is a Tian Xia? And that's fair. If you haven't played Strength of Thousands and you're only in Pathfinder 2e, you haven't really seen it much outside of maybe the human ethnicity. Well, Tian Xia is a completely different continent, honestly. It is roughly, according to this map I found, like 7,000 to 10,000 miles to the east, or west, honestly, it's pretty equidistant, of Garund, which is the main continent of the Inner Sea region. The main way to get there is either by sailing or literally going to the crown of the world, basically Pathfinder Antarctica, and then moving east-west through it, and then going back down once you find where it connects to Tian Xia. Tian Xia, however, is such a colorful and fascinating culture. I've seen people calling it Paizo's Asia analog, but I feel like even that does Tian Xia such a disservice because it goes so much farther than just Asian cultures. It combines a lot of different parts of Asian cultures, but it's also got Polynesian. It's also got some African in there because, like Paizo is always so amazing at, they're great at taking inspiration from all of our real-world cultures and then putting their spin on it so it's not just a one-to-one. However, the cultures are there, they're visible, and the representation is beautiful. So what all's coming in the new update? Well, I just figured let's go over the post itself like I did last month with the situation that shall not be named, but rhymes with Mowgli fell. That way we can see exactly what they have to offer. Right at the top here, we see freaking James Case is the one sort of senior director on this project. I could not have asked for a better person at Paizo to be handling everything Tian Xia. James Case, fantastic individual, fantastic designer, one of the leads on the Dark Archive, if I remember correctly. They're amazing. I met them in person at PaizoCon, but the entire team working on this project is amazing for reasons I'll get to when we get a little bit farther down this article, so stick around. Starting off, we have this amazing map by Damian Mamalidi, this just crazy geographical or topographical or whatever fancy term it is. It's a beautiful map that shows off all the different environs of Tian Xia. I never knew really what it looked like. I love the freaking like bird island at the bottom there. You can see it's sort of got the wings going off to the sides. I actually know very little about Tian Xia. I never played much Pathfinder 1st Edition, which is where most of the information was found, and I haven't played Fist of the Ruby Phoenix, so I know next to nothing about this place. The first big announcement they go over is the Season of Ghosts adventure path. Like I said, it is a 4-volume adventure path, which is a little bit different. Typically, they've only ever been 3 volumes or 5 volumes, either 1 to 10 or 1 to 20, with the occasional 1-volume adventure of like level 1 to 4. But this is different. This is going to be, I think, a slower paced adventure, as it is only 4 books and only going to level 12. So you're only going to be gaining, I assume, 3 levels per book. Additionally, it takes place over 1 in-game year, with each of the volumes being centered around a different season, starting out in the summer that never was. They say the campaign takes place around all the PCs being from the hometown of Willow Shore, which, upon performing their annual ritual to appease the angry spirits around them, something goes wrong, and your area is infested with monsters, which you, the PCs, have to get to the bottom of. It sounds super freaking rad. The artwork here is absolutely gorgeous. I love all the different spirits, and I know we're going to see a lot of different things like yokai, probably some kaiju. Kaiju is something that comes up multiple times in this post, so I'm assuming we're going to get new kaiju hazards and new summon kaiju options for your massive high-level casters. But at the end of the day, I am always a sucker for a horror adventure path. Malevolence I've only played about 1 or 2 sessions of, but I still had a blast with it. I just love a darker supernatural theme in my TTRPGs, and I think this is going to be an amazing game that I might have to run. Also, the idea of each book taking place over exactly 1 season is awesome, and is going to lead to each book feeling totally different, with more emphasis on the weather, on the environment changing through the year, and I think that's going to be great. And of course, it wouldn't be a Paizo release focused on a region if we didn't get the Lost Omens Tian Xia. Unfortunately, not until 2024, but we're going to be getting the Mwangi treatment, the Absalom treatment, the Impossible Lands treatment, all for Tian Xia, learning about all the different cultures of all the different civilizations that live over on that continent, how they celebrate, what they eat, a bunch of different just cool items and things from that place. Am I selling this well? A really, really cool part of modern Tian Xia is that back in Pathfinder 1st Edition, I believe about 10 in-game years ago, which is also lines up with 10 real-world years ago, there was an adventure path called the Jade Regent, in which the PCs helped, I don't know the name, Amaiko Kaijitsu ascend to the throne of Minkai. I don't know what that means because I wasn't there, but it goes on to explain that over the last 10 years, once ascending the throne, they've changed Tian Xia. It is in a new age, and you as the PCs in this coming adventure and any adventures going forward using this book will get to see how the culture has evolved under new leadership in this new age, and I think that's amazing, especially for those of you who might have played Pathfinder 1st Edition, especially Jade Regent. You might be able to see tangible differences in the culture and the people compared to the Jade Regent adventure path. And I think that is so cool to have that consistency, to have the player's actions from old adventure paths have a notable effect on the world now in official publications. You know, I feel like a lot of adventures, you play them, you finish the campaign, you put it away, and aside from maybe a GM doing an NPC cameo now and then, you never feel like you've changed the world, usually because it feels like each adventure is in its own sort of pocket reality where they don't affect each other. But this is breaking that, it's almost meta in some ways, where you might see things that your old character has done that has changed the world you're playing in now. And I think that's really, really cool. And don't worry, this Lost Omens guide is not just flavor. There's going to be an entire Tian Xia bestiary in there full of things like the ferocious four-horned Aoyin, I can read, and even more interesting, the aristocrat-eating Yongno. I don't know what either of those are, but I'm excited to be scared by them. And that leads me to the other book they're publishing, the Tian Xia Player's Guide, which is going to contain 6 new ancestries. My God, Paizo! 6? They've already announced 3 of them, and they are Tanuki. You can now play a little shape-shifting raccoon who plays the drums on his belly and is adorable. You can play the reincarnated Samsarans, who I have no information about. I've never even heard of them, but apparently they utilize the knowledge of their past lives to sort of assist them in their current life. They look really cool. I love the design. The bright blue skin and the classic like parchment over the face is just super iconic. And then there's the Wyangs, who I've never heard of before, but they're from the Shadow Plane. They remind me a little bit of goblins in their design, just even lankier and a little bit more dark and sinister looking, but I don't think they are inherently dark and sinister. They go on to describe them as like creative and artistic, which I think is a really cool twist on the Shadow Plane. So I'm excited to get a little bit more information about them. We also know that we're getting at least a new Magus subclass that's centered around jumping and attacking at the same time, which is freaking cool, as well as some new medicines, which I'm assuming will be alchemical healing items, plus even more heritages and ancestry feats for existing ancestries, like the Peach Child Leshy, which I cannot wait to see the art for, and I cannot wait for the internet to just die for it. They also teased the Bakua lizard folk, which are apparently lizards that ate the moon, at least in mythology, I'm assuming. I'm so psyched for this book. And now I'm really upset because we're not going to get it till 2024. I'm going to be an old man by then. Who knows how long that'll be? So yeah. We got some big stuff on the way. Unfortunately, it's all quite a ways out. I don't know if they're gonna release the Ghost adventure path around Halloween. It would be a little apropos because Halloween, but I also feel like it might take longer. I don't know, we don't have a release date yet. I just want that world guide and character guide in my hands, but it's gonna be at least 11 months. And, you know, we're gonna get Rage of Elements before then, which is coming soon-ish. I think it's going to be out around Gen Con like the other ones are. Oh man, the Kineticist class guide is going to happen. Yay for views, but oh no, it's going to be 2 hours long. So yeah, crazy announcements. Paizo, killing it like always. And the last thing I want to focus on before we wrap this up, like I leaked earlier, is the list of designers and people working on this project. I'm just going to put it on screen for a second. Take a look at the names and see if you can find a pattern, something that is commonplace among a lot of these names. Paizo has specifically brought on writers of Asian or Polynesian cultures and heritages to work on this book, which I think is incredible. They're bringing on people with life experience around this culture, who might have studied this culture, and I think that is so reputable is the wrong word, but my brain is not working because it's only 10 a.m. Only 10 a.m. I just love to see the representation, not only in the content, but in the people hired to make that content. I think that is equally as important, and I love to see it. Paizo, as always, absolutely killing it with representation, with inclusivity, and just quality product. I can't wait for these books, and I hope you can't either. That's it for me. I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day. And until next time, no nat ones.